If you come across this video today and you're having an intention to go into pig farming, poultry farming, fish farming as a retirement plan, then I have an update for you. I have what you need to hear today, because right inside of this facility here, we are producing an organic animal feed, a natural kind of feed that requires no chemical additives for you to produce feed to fish, pigs, poultry birds, and all of this livestock. So if you intend to go into any of these sectors, then come inside so that I will introduce you to this strategy. Because what we are doing here, this is a strategy that if you go into fish farming, you get to produce this insect, this maggot we are making here, and then feed to your fish. If you go into pig farming, you get to produce and feed. So before you even think of going into any of these sectors, into any of these livestock production sectors, you need to think about owning a maggot farm. In fact, if you acquire a land and you intend to set up a fish farm, a pig farm, a poultry farm, what you have to set up first on that land and get it right is a maggot farm. Once you set up a maggot farm on that land, get it right, then you are well secured, right? You are well sure that by the time you start making this fish, you start producing your pigs, you start producing your poultry birds, then they have something to eat. Because if you go into this livestock and then you do not have a feed to this livestock, then you see that it will be a whole loss of capital. But when you own a maggot farm, you start this facility and then get it right, then you can be able to produce this maggot. By the time you go into any of these livestock farming sectors, you'll be successful. You make a lot of profits. Bring it close. Let's show them these maggots we are talking about. You see, these are the natural feed we are talking about. These maggots you're seeing here. These maggots here are being produced on a large scale where you get to feed to your fish, your pigs, your poultry birds. And on this facility, we are making these maggots in tons, right? We produce them in tons, feeding them to our livestock. And this is something that if you intend to go into any of these sectors we mentioned earlier, you need to set aside space and get started with this process. And like we said, globally, we can integrate this farm for you. We can also train you on how to get started on a small scale, because there is no limit to what you can produce. Whatever space you have, you can be able to start making these maggots we are making here on a small scale or large scale. Just set aside that space. Start up a maggot farm before you go into fish farming, pig farming, poultry farming. And if you're already into any of this sector, I do not need to explain much, because the cost for conventional feed is something you're currently feeling right now. Because every day when you wake up, your livestock need to feed. It doesn't matter you yourself have not fed, your livestock will still have to feed, right? Even if you do not have the money to feed your family, your livestock will have to feed. And when you own a maggot facility like this, it becomes a permanent installation. Because with the installation of a maggot facility, every day you go there, collecting this maggot from their ponds, feeding them to your livestock. As you can see, in all of these ponds, we have this maggot. Show them around before we show them the ones we have in this pond. In all of these ponds here, we have maggots. So when you set aside space and get it right with maggot production, every day you only need to come to these ponds here, collect the quantity you need. If you need 100 kg for that day, if you need 200 kg, if you need 5